Hi, Christian. My name's Chris Wehrheim. Thanks for sending in your video here. Looking forward to helping you at this track and in this Mustang. I think after watching the lap, I think it's kind of a generality of something that we can apply to probably 50 to 60% of the corners on the track, where we just don't carry enough speed on the entry, and we kind of pick up the throttle just a little bit too early. We're not really able to accelerate. We're kind of just holding maintenance throttle, and it's hurting our lap time. So that's really where I see the big gain. I think our line around the track is pretty solid. It's just kind of that entry to apex kind of part of the corner that we can definitely improve on. So let's get going on the lap here and see if we can find you some lap time. So coming into the first turn, braking looks good. Obviously, that car kind of got a little bit in your way. I probably would have taken a little bit more direct line and been a little bit narrower on the first part, just to brake that little bit later, straighter hands. But obviously that car was in your way. So here's a good example. Go back. Listen to where we pick up the throttle. Listen at how we aren't able to really accelerate, right? There's just a little bit too long of maintenance throttle. Back on power. Now we're finally able to get after it. So how we fix that, and go back a little bit more here, is driving in with more speed here. We're kind of under the limit here, so that we can't pick up the throttle this early, right? That we're a little bit further around the corner before we can pick up the throttle, but we carry more speed on the entry to make up that difference, right? Pretty solid here. I like that you're getting it set up. Not bad. Not bad at all. Good braking. Now kind of see that maintenance throttle. How long? I mean, that's a long time. We're not accelerating or decelerating. So let's go back here. So what that tells me is here we are under the limit at this point. We can carry more speed in. We can probably brake a little bit later, carry that brake pressure in a little bit longer, carry more speed in at this point so that we cannot get on the throttle. Sorry, I'm not used to doing the videos on YouTube as much. We should be able to pick up the throttle right about here. So we need to figure out how can we carry more speed up to that point so that we don't even feel like we can pick up the throttle. And how we do that is by braking a little bit deeper, so it brings everything down forward in the corner. We bring everything further into the corner. That will force us to get onto the throttle a little bit later. Good use of track here. Solid here. Not bad. That's a hard corner in a car like this, trying to get the power down, but you did a good job there. I picked up the throttle a little bit early there. I think we could probably wait a little bit longer. And I actually think, let me go back a little bit more. So I actually think if we just turn a little bit later and get that car pointed straighter, you're going to be able to brake a little bit later here. So what I want to see is maybe keep it to the left for just a split second longer, kind of get that car to rotate. So we're braking in a straight line. We'll go back again. We're braking a straight line instead of the car being pointed. Let me get my annotation here. Instead of the car being pointed kind of here and having to turn back on the brakes, we're pointed more this kind of this way a little bit, right along, or not, maybe not right along the white line, but more parallel to that white line. So we have straighter hands and we can break that much little bit later. That will allow us to carry more speed in. See, now you're having to bring it back to the right. If we can break more in a straight line, it's going to allow us to break later here. Because again, we kind of pick up the throttle just a little bit too early. Doesn't hurt us a lot, but it is lap time. Again, there's another corner where we're just can drive in that little bit harder. Same thing here. Right? Drive in. Even if you get a little bit of understeer, it's going to be okay. Just you get kind of on that limit. But I just feel like we're always under the limit entering the corner, kind of through that kind of beginning the middle part of the corner. So then you're like, well, I can get back to power now, or I need to, because I know I just kind of feel that I'm not going fast enough, and that's hurting us. Solid there. Good use of the curb. Probably would use more curb there. Let's go back here. You know, if you use this curb, roll that curb, I'd probably roll this curb too. That'd help us stay more to the right here to open this left up. But again, here, I mean, we're just kind of staying 20, 30% throttle. You know, we go back here a little bit more. Do a good job there. Get back to throttle, off the throttle. Boom, get back to throttle, right? So you can be a little bit more aggressive in these kind of sections of being harder on throttle, big lift, get it turned back on the throttle instead of just kind of holding 20% through the whole section. Let's look here. Then coming into the final corner here. Yeah, I think we can drive it in harder, make our lift later. Then you really drive it in, like almost drive it in until you make your lift. So if you're making your lift now, kind of right at this white line, I think you can make your lift probably right about where this grass is, or just before the grass. I don't know if you're using a little bit of brake or not. It doesn't seem like it, but you can definitely drive it in there. Because again, you're just too long. Let me go back a little bit more. Let's look at our speed here. So we're going from 50 down to 31 and then back up. So I think if we can make less of a deceleration, right? Keep our minimum speed up a little bit more, driving a little bit deeper, not as big of a lift, just roll that a little bit. You're going to find some speed, but we really kind of get in there, dump it off, and then we're back to power, where I'd like to see that kind of just that minimum speed stay up a little bit more. That's going to help us find some lap time here. And then obviously, you know, you don't want to, there's a wall there, but I'd like us to use a little bit more of this track, get to that curb, get our right side tires up on that curb, and just open that corner up a little bit more. And there we are, down to the end of the lap. So like I said, I really want us to focus on minimizing that maintenance throttle, working on carrying a little bit more speed into the corners. I'll do a corner by corner breakdown for you, hopefully, if I can find a full track map online, a corner by corner breakdown of what corners of where I want you to work on. Like I said, there's, you know, probably about 50% of the corners where it's going to be kind of the same thing we're working on, because I do think our line is very solid here. It's just that break point and how we're initiating throttle, or the point, I should say, of where we're initiating throttle, that we can definitely work on. So hopefully we'll have a chance to work together again soon. And thanks again for choosing Racers 360.